We're back, and it's time for another Kaiju Cinematic Destruction. Tonight, we got Venom. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. He wasn't in a movie, though.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the
Giant leaps will always come at a cost.
Venom, directed by Ruben Fleischer, starring Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, and Riz Ahmed, and is featuring one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. Mainly because I grew up in the 90s and I got to see, the Spider-Man animated series and read some of the comic books and play a few of the video games. Maximum Carnage, I think, was a game that we played on the SNES. We talked about it during some of our Spider-Man PS4 gameplay. But he's one of my favorite guys! And we finally get a feature film with Venom at the helm, even though he only comes in, I want to say a third of the movie in, but when he does,
It's fun.
Okay, so the first time we got to look at Venom on the main screen, it was during Spider-Man 3, and one of the issues that I had with their portrayal is kind of like the issue that everybody had with the portrayal of Deadpool back in, Wolverine Origins, where they sewed his mouth shut and didn't let him do any talking or any quips. And in Spider-Man 3, Venom really didn't talk a lot or at all, if I can recall. And he was just kind of a magical MacGuffin.
Is that where they threw on the lips to make it look like he was talking but wasn't talking?
No, that wasn't that.
Oh, so what am I talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
It was the one with Topher Grace, and the thing with Venom is, the character, at least from, what I remember, was he had a lot of personality. He was a character. He wasn't just a thing that latched on to people despite being a symbiote. He was a character in its own right. And that's one of the major things that this movie does incredibly well, aside from letting Tom Hardy be Tom Hardy and kind of improvise a lot of his stuff, it feels. But Venom by himself was a character in its own right. It was independent of everybody else. It has Venom had its own motivations, its own character, its own quirks, and that's what makes the movie work. But beyond that, it's kind of bland.
Yeah. Okay. So the beginning of the movie was a little slow. It was a lot slow.
Yeah.
But like you said, once Venom came in, it got fun. It was personality. I thought the two characters worked.
Oh yeah, they worked well.
I
together.
thought it was genius having him talk and then talk out loud, and people are looking at him like, "What in the hell is wrong with this guy?" But it was fun. It was fun. Even the action scenes. If you catch a couple of the action scenes, you're like, "Holy cow! That was pretty amazeballs." So yeah, it is fun. It does start slow,
but it gets fun and energetic. It gets
fun
very
and
energetic
once Venom gets in there.
Now,
it does.
Now, I don't know. I already forgot the man's name. And I'm looking right at Tom Hardy. It's been a long day.
Yeah,
it has been a long day. Tom Hardy's portrayal of Eddie Brock is actually one of the rarest portrayals of Eddie Brock, because usually when you see the character, he's kind of a bully, kind of an asshole.
Okay, so I'm not familiar with Eddie Brock, so you'll have to kind of
there are a lot of iterations of him, because
Okay.
you have the Eddie Brock that was in Spider-Man 3, you had the Eddie Brock that was in Spider-Man the Animated Series, in various animated series recently. Eddie Brock is kind of portrayed as a meathead dickbag.
Is he like April from
No, God,
Turtles?
no,
Okay.
no. Like
Bad reference.
yeah, no. That's not bad because like that's kind of where he is right now.
Okay.
Like in this movie, he's an investigative reporter, and like he is very ambitious. He has a moral code that's very obviously seen. The problem is he's also kind of a dumbass.
Yeah, I caught that. You catch that very early on.
They
in the movie.
straight up tell you,
Yeah,
he
he's a dumbass. Yeah.
He is one of the smartest guys you know,
but he's
also
dumbass.
a dumbass.
Yeah,
and it's the problem with him as a character, which is not like a flaw in the way he's written, but it's just a flaw in his character.
Yeah,
which helps advance the story, is the fact that he doesn't know how to play the game, or he does things that are so impulsive that it gets him in trouble. And it makes Eddie Brock an empathetic character that you really don't see. Like, I think the closest that you see to in terms of like a portrayal of Eddie Brock as an empathetic character is one of the Spectacular Spider-Man with Garfield playing Spider-Man. After Uncle Ben gets killed, he goes from I'm bullying Peter Parker to like, you know what, I understand, I'm sorry. And that's the only time that I can recall you feel empathy for Eddie Brock. And in this movie, they really do a number of you wanting to see him succeed, but also at the same time going, you're kind of a dumbass.
Yeah, you're kind of a dick.
Like he's not that much of a okay. He does a couple of dickish things. He does a couple of dickish things, but
there's no explanation for that.
But like they're good intentions. At the very least, they're good intentions.
Okay,
I will say that.
I would give you good intentions.
He's a good intention.
However, he doesn't think about how to go in with those intentions.
Oh yeah, no. I don't disagree with you.
That's why it's like dickery moves he does, and in the movie you're just like, dude, literally the answer was right there.
Yeah.
Why?
There's a better way to go about it, and he doesn't go about it.
No, absolutely not. No.
Michelle Williams plays. Shoot, I can't even remember her name. The character's name.
Yeah.
Anne.
She played Anne.
She plays Anne Wing.
Yeah.
Weird spelling for it, but like I get it. I think
it's unique. I like it.
I'm cool with it. I'm not bad at it. But she plays the love interest. I guess you would say not really a love interest, but she's like a love
Michelle
interest.
Williams, though.
Oh no, she was good in this.
Yeah.
She was incredible in this.
Yeah.
She actually helped pick up a lot of the slack when the movie slowed down.
Yes, she did. I wanted to point that out. Like, yeah, she also gave character even when Venom.
Oh yeah, She played off of Venom.
Who Venom was. She still played very well with that character.
She really played off of
And I thought
him.
it was nice to see that on screen because it was like, okay, because usually when you have a love interest and then you got
their cardboard cutout.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like, okay, well, we knew that was going to happen because he got this thing inside of him, whatever.
Yeah, it really didn't make
It didn't do that, no.
It didn't really fall back on tropes.
No.
But Tom Hardy by himself in certain scenes could carry a scene, but but too much nothing happening kind of made the movie drag. So it was like, man, I can't wait to get to the next high energy part. And sometimes the travel between high energy to high energy left you wanting a lot more for this story. Yeah. I was going into this, I thought that this movie was going to be like far more dour than what it was portrayed in the trailers.
I'm gonna have to agree.
The trailers tried so hard to make you feel like this is edgy. Like, nah, this is a comedy. I cared more about the comedy than I did about the action scenes, despite the fact that the action scenes were supposed
good.
supposed to pull you in. I cared more about the comedy and the way that Eddie Brock played off of Venom versus, trying to show me a lot of the action scenes. Which were well choreographed, which were well shot. I enjoyed them. The final fight kind of felt very Transformer-esque. Like
a little bit.
Where you see just things happening, and you're just like, okay, I'm trying to follow this, but y'all look too much alike for me to be like, who am I rooting for?
Right.
That's one of the problems with this movie. The only other problem that I kind of had with this movie was just it's long. and you kind of feel it.
In the beginning,
You
you
kind of
feel it. Once it gets like, again, once the action starts, after that, it doesn't feel so long.
Yeah.
But you made me nervous about watching the film because Spider-Man wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And this is Spider-Man's, I'm just going to say it, Spider-Man's dude.
Yeah,
It's
I
his
mean,
dude.
okay, so this was also a thing that I was kind of not anticipating or not wanting to see, because I came into this like, hey, you're doing Venom without Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
those two play off each other so damn well.
Yeah.
How could you do it? And it's because Eddie Brock, they really ramped up Eddie Brock's character, and they allowed Venom to speak a lot more. So that's
So I understand that now.
works.
So if there is a movie with Venom and Spider-Man, I will
It might
understand
happen.
now.
Who knows? Because you know,
They have
Disney
to. You
Disney's trying
have
to
to.
Disney's trying to snatch up all their properties. Well, Disney and Marvel. But the other thing that they did well is the fact that they didn't have this set in New York City. Because if it was in New York City, it could not work.
No.
But since it was like they start off right then and there with like a plethora of evidence that this is not New York, this is San Francisco.
That was
and
also a nice
That
touch.
is why.
Yeah.
That is why Spider-Man isn't here.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so they could occupy the same universe without having to be
In the
tied
same
to each
area,
other.
yeah. Okay.
So that was good. Really, I can't. It's okay. So so this movie is good, but it's one of those dumb popcorn movie goods.
Yeah.
It is not like the smartest movie. It is not like,
No.
you know, it's not telling the best of all stories.
No.
Because like the story is really just like self-preservation on every level. And there's like, that's the plot, just survive.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the plot, is just to survive.
Yeah.
But like they really made it work. But it being a dumb popcorn movie is not a bad thing. Those are never usually bad things as long as you leave the theater somewhat entertained. And I think like everybody in the audience, like we were laughing when we were supposed to laugh.
Yeah.
We were, you know, reacting when we were supposed to react. There wasn't a lot of, you know, as I said, the way that it was portrayed in the trailer, you were expecting something darker. You were expecting something more visceral than what you actually got, and that made it a better movie for me.
I was gonna say, yeah, because of course what you see in the trailers is not what you're expecting to see when you go in for the movie. Because
Yeah.
like I said, when I went into the movie, I had no expectations. I had no too low expectations for this movie.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as it started, I was like, okay, this is a 0, and I'm pretty much done.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even 5 minutes into the movie. And I was
it's-
like, oh, God. I
it's-
gotta endure this for another freaking 90 minutes. Really?
It's really hard because when Eddie Brock is just Eddie Brock around regular humans, it's like, okay, this is not pulling me in, and I am trying. I am really trying, and it's not pulling me in. It's like, okay, here's the main villain, and even he's just like, he's there. And that kind of makes it hard to really get into it because you don't even want Eddie Brock to face off against the main villain because you just don't care until Venom hits the scene.
Yeah.
And that's when it picks up.
Yeah.
And it becomes more a Venom thing than anything. And, you know, so stick around the movie.
Yeah.
I think we said all we can really say about this. So go ahead, give me your score. Give me what you really think about this movie on a scale
Honestly,
of 0 to 5.
Like I said, going in, I was looking for a 0 to 1, but once everything got started, I'm gonna have to give it a 3 stars.
Okay, 3 stars. 3 stars definitely works.
Yep.
I'm bouncing between like 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I'm bouncing between 2 and 3 because, as I said, the movie was good, but like as I let myself sit in it, it definitely is kind of forgettable in some parts.
Yeah, respectable 2 or 3 would work for scoring. So
you know what? I give it a low 3.
Okay.
I give it like a 2.8975.
Really?
Just throw as many.
That's still a
We're
3.
we're
If you round
I know
it,
that's
it's
what I'm
a
saying.
3.
That's what I'm saying. I'm rounding it up to a 3. It's rounded up to a 3.
That makes no
but
sense.
it's a low 3. It's a low 3.
Okay.
Like it's not there to where it's like, man, I really want to see this movie again. I really want to shell out the money to see this movie again. But it's good enough.
Yeah, I can wait for it to come out on demand.
Yeah,
Actually.
it's like once it comes out on demand, we'll watch it.
Yeah.
Hell, we even watch it on like TNT or wherever it wants to throw itself on, where you want to cut out everything. And like, it definitely is worth the PG-13 rating. it's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's good.
It's good. It's
The
good.
kids will be okay. They won't. Well,
I'm
I'm gonna have to take that back. I'm sorry. I don't want anybody yelling at me because I said, you know what, go take the kiddos. So I'm gonna cut out on that one.
That's
so
a
you know
maybe.
what? Yeah,
That's
it's a good
maybe.
movie.
That's a maybe.
Possibly a good date night movie.
It'll be a good date night
Yeah,
movie because
yeah.
like there will be enough funny parts to laugh at.
Yeah.
And like there will be enough action there, but there will be so many lulling points.
Yeah.
That it might just be like, okay, get to the funny, get to the sight gag, get to
Yeah.
Because that's where it is, and that's why I was waffling between that 2 and 3. That's why I was saying,
Like I said, I was waffling between a 1 and a 3. So yeah,
it's a low 3.
Yeah.
I'm cool with a 3.
Yeah.
Like go watch it.
Yeah, go for a
watch
date
See
with it.
See it for the first time.
Yeah,
But,
then
like,
decide if you want to take the kiddos.
Yeah, like
Do it that way.
if you go see it in the theaters, go ahead. I don't think you'll hate the experience. Go ahead and give it a watch. But this is not something that you like. Okay, I need to see this again. And no, don't do that. Don't see it twice. That's too much. It's way too much.
Kaiju out.
Once is good. Kaiju out. See, you just gonna hop on and just be like,
Yes.
Kaiju out in the middle of my
Kaiju out.
Kaiju out.
Bye.